Alright, what's up, man?
What's up?
This is Anton, and we're
recording?
Yeah, I'm making a video.
Alright,
and this is the before, and as promised YouTube, I'm making that video on how to do the knots step by step, beginning to end. It should be good. So what made you want to get locks in the first place?
I'm sick of my afro.
And you don't want to shave it?
Nah, I love my hair too much.
And who's your favorite person that has locks?
Marley.
Marley.
Don't even have to think about it.
Marley, it is. And there's one thing about getting locks. You gotta make sure you have them for at least a year before you decide to cut it off.
I don't even plan on cutting it.
All right.
Let's do it.
So to start it off, I'll show you guys the tools we'll be working with today. And not too much. We have crochet hooks, the latch hook, which is the key part of making these locks, a broken ass comb, but we only want to use it for here so we can make separations and for parting the hair. This, not really going to use that too much, but we're going to be using this as well. Well, just rubber bands. And I bought some clips somewhere here from Dollarama. Some clips just in case we need to put his hair out of the way.
Manly.
So yeah, some pink clips. So starting off, first thing about getting locks, take a seat. First thing about getting locks is that it's a patient process.
How patient?
Well, I mean, the first few months are probably the roughest, and that's just I say within 6 months. After 6 months, it's easy breezy, but you want to stay patient for the first few while, and we'll talk more on this as we get along. So starting off, I'm just gonna start from the bottom of his head, and I'll show you guys the sectioning. So what we're gonna do here with this nappy head is we're gonna start with the sectioning, and what you want to do when you're first starting locks is usually start from the bottom and work your way up. This being the reason is that if your hair was longer and you start at the top, you're gonna have to be fighting with the dreads that you made already to get to the hair at the bottom. So you want to start at the bottom and work your way to the top at all times. And the very first stage of making the locks is sectioning it. One of two options. You can section the whole head first with rubber bands, or you can section rows at a time, lock it, and then section another row at a time and lock it. And that's the way we're going to do it today. Alright, so I'm having a little bit of trouble here already because his hair's a little bit short at the back, but I've basically separated it into 3 dreads at the back. And basically this is how it will go for the whole head. Never go above 1 inch square for your sections, but you can go anywhere below that depending on how thick that you want the dreads. I'm probably going to stay between 0.75 and 1 inch for his. And these are short, so I'm going to try a different approach right now and see how it works out. I just started by twisting it a little bit and sectioning them off, and at the ends I'm using the crochet hook to seal the end here so I can actually start the interlocking process. What we were doing now is sectioning it off still. So you take your comb and you want to just run it across the 1 inch space that you're creating. Make sure that it's straight, and once you have the amount of hair that you want, you just tie back the other parts.
Here in 1784, an act of God placed the Bavarian government in possession of evidence which proved the existence of the continuing Luciferian conspiracy. This explains the previous 9 pages goes into it. I don't have time to do it completely.
Add that shit up.
He was a professor of interlock, effective in Christianity, and embraced the Luciferian ideology while teaching at Ingolstadt University. In 1770, the money lenders who had recently organized.
Okay, so what I'm doing here now is that since I sectioned that part off, usually if his hair was long enough, I would tie a knot on the bottom here to seal the end, which is kind of doable right now. And then you take your crochet hook and you just in and out, and you rotate it and do the same thing, so you're sealing the end so that you can actually begin to interlock the dread between it. And what you want to remember is that when you interlock, you have two strands of hair that you're interlocking between each other each time. Almost like a crosshatch. So now that the end there is sealed, if I had some wax, I would put a little bit there to seal the end. Pay it forward. And so here, now that we have the two strands that we're working with, right here like this, we take the latch hook and we put it through the dread, clip it onto the end, close the latch, and pass it back through. That creates the first latch, the first interlock. And what you want to do is that over and over again, but always ensuring that you're going opposite times, opposite directions each time. So 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock. The second you start going the same direction over and over again, you're going to start getting loops. And you don't want loops in the dread because it's going to look retarded. So like now that was the last one I saw, you can see here is where my finger comes back through. So I would go up to connect these two strands here together. Like that. Pass it through. And then back through like that. And you basically want to do that over and over until you get down to the root.
Soldiers looking in caves, and people in Afghanistan and Pakistan and all these places, and
Called for innocent people to be shot on American streets. This is the Pentagon. For boats carrying refugees fleeing Cuba to be sunk on the high seas. For a wave of bioterrorism.
And when you get down to the last part, it gets a little tighter for the patient. But that's all part of the game. And yeah, and there you go. You have the lock created. And now after I finished it, I will just pass over the end again with the crochet hook to ensure that it stays in.
At a designated time, the duplicate will be substituted for the actual civil aircraft and would be loaded with selected passengers.
And boom, voila, there's another one. So this is the first three that we finished here. And turns out his hair is long enough. These are the smallest dreads I've ever done. Locks, not locks. But so yeah, that's the first section. And I'm gonna show you guys exactly how to knot this now. And basically interlocking is root flipping, but a little bit different, but you'll see in a second. Alright, so here's another close-up of how you would do this, and you see that the dread here has two loops, and you want to make sure that you're getting these two in and passing it through, and that is the interlock. So put it in, lock it, the clasp, and you pull it through. Yeah. And political figures like Gerald Ford, Henry Kissinger, William. And you'll see it made a little bit of a loop there, and you want to do it again at the opposite direction. And Defense Secretary Weinberger are members of other camps. Richard Nixon is a Bohemian, and so are high-ranking executives of such companies as Eastern Airlines, pass it through. And just keep on repeating that. Try and think of a clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock, until you get to the scalp. And then once you get to the scalp, you just go back over with the crochet hook and make sure everything is tight and sealed.
You see, for over 120 plus years in Northern California, in Sonoma County.
And luckily his hair is short, because if it was long hair, I'd be doing this for a lot longer on each dread, on each lock.
Prime ministers, chancellors, presidents,
but there you can see.
the heads of industry, banking, academia, the media, Hollywood, travel there.
Last time here. Just pass it through, right, and you're going to finish it off with the crochet hook just at the edge, at the end, to make sure that it won't come out. And what you're doing here is you're rolling the tip between your two fingers, pulling it in, rotating it, doing it again, just so you're getting it from all angles. And, you'll notice on some locks here that after you've done it, you might still find space to lock it more between two strands, and that's when you go through and take the edge of the hook and just feed it through and do the same thing. But when you're pulling, if it gets tense, make sure you hold the lock so you're not pulling directly from the scalp. And sometimes you will find that it won't want to go through, so at this point you either leave it and come back to it, or let me try one more time. There you go. There you go. It looks good. Alright, so after hours of watching conspiracy theories, Illuminati, Freemason, we're actually now on this video about Stop Coney, and this is actually new to both of us, and this is pretty interesting. I'll put a link in the description if you guys want to see this video I've been sent. But back to the locks, we're getting an update here. They look like a matted mess at the moment, but you can see that they actually are. They're locked here, and they're really short, so they're gonna be crazy baby dreads for a little while. How are you feeling?
Pretty good.
Yeah, sore at all?
A little bit.
Yeah, it's
pulsating.
Yeah, his head will be pulsing because it does get tight on the head, because he is experiencing for the first time the interlockingness against the scalp.
So
but
technical.
We are about, I would say, almost halfway, and yeah, it's looking good. So I'll show you guys some more, so stay tuned. So you can see here how I parted this. I put the spare hair up on the top with clips, and at the bottom here I just made a section, and what I would do now is divide this into little 1-inch squares each time around to make sure that I get it. And this is actually looks funny. This is actually the longer part of his hair, so it should go by a bit easier. And it's gonna look like a bit like a braid. And then you can go back down to the root and do it one more time. I think that will be good. And then once again, pardon my phone, you just use the crochet hook at the end just to seal that. And if you have any beeswax at this point, you put it on the end here just so it seals it. Ow. Make sure you don't jab your finger.
Camera
So
blooper.
that's the only thing about using this crochet hook, is that you might cut your finger after a while. I just did now.
Then you're gonna
No
bleed.
blood though. No blood in the dreads. And there you have it. That would be the one lock. And later you can go back and just make it a bit more tidy. But right now we're just worrying about locking, and make sure you're not cutting your finger open. And like now we would have, say, 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 left on this section. And then that would be half the head. And then we'd be done for the day. Alright, so this is about halfway done. And it's going well. Yeah, it's about half the head left to do. And we will continue this most likely tomorrow. Should only take a couple more hours to finish. And it's looking really good. I'm talking about his dreads. This a freestyle.
Let the jumps.
This a freestyle belt part in your hair. When you part your hair, you want to make sure it's square. Usually by 1 inch square.
I'm looking down the layer. I'm saying shit that's lava. And this fucking shit I don't even know. What the fuck? You can't even keep up with my flow. The beat knows.
Beat knows, but you gotta keep it going. Alright, since it's dying out, I'm gonna do this video right now. And meow. What we're talking about now is how we just parted the hair. And we use the comb with the pick on it to go around, and we clip back the hair that we're not using. So this is the row around the crown of the head top. And what's going to happen now is I'm going to go through and section it by square, by square, by square, by square, by square, all the way around, by square, by square, by square, to this side, right? Like all the bottom is done. So this is my part, man. And then the top would be next, which we would do like the sides, and then like up the front, and then through the front here. So you can see how we're going to be doing this and taking the approach. So coming back to this part that I parted and sectioned off, and I went through and I sectioned it. The rest that I want to do is I sectioned it by 1 inch square, and then I took the crochet needle and just twisted it, and then locked the end so that it's sealed and sectioned off each spot. So like they look like little poofs right now, but as I come to section off this last bit here, I'll go back and start interlocking them. So you can see here is the last part that, oops, so you can see here is the last part that hasn't been sectioned off, but all this is sectioned off. Tell me why we watch this while we're not locking hair. So, please tell me what this is and why we're watching it. But so we're on the last stretch on getting this done here, and you'll notice that all that's left is the front row and what we need to get done. Turn your head this way. It's just the front row here that's left. And if you want to notice that when you're doing it up to the front, try and leave space for numerous small sections at the front, because you want to make it so it looks like a regular hairline, not just 2 big sections at the front, but do like maybe 5, if 6 if you can fit it, just so that it looks uniformed on the forehead. But going into having to do this again, hold it up, you'll see that use a crochet hook to take this section bit that you have. You can give it a little twist, and you want to continue to seal the end. So you're continually twisting and pulling in and out to seal the ends before you start the interlock, the knot lock. And sometimes a crochet hook gets stuck. You just want to kind of tease it out. But taking your latch hook, you can twist it to start it off, and then you start at the base. You continually just pull it through, in and out. Sometimes you'll see that hair will get in the way, so you just clip it back. And going back to this, open the latch, put it through, close it around the edge, and pull it back. And you want to just continue doing that until you can't do it anymore on the lock. And then you'll see it start to form. Each and every time you pass it through, And then you'd finish it off at the end with a little bit more crochet hook. Just fold that back just so it brings in all those stray hairs, and you seal the end once again. Cameraman is a heavy breather. Sorry about that. And then once again, yes, it gets stuck in there, so you just kind of want to twist and kind of pull until you get that out. And there you go. There's a lock. So we're on the last dread right now, and I just told him that I quit. Job's done. I didn't want to finish no more. It's too much work. So just kidding, but check it out. The last lock. Head up. The last lock is gonna get attacked. Right meow. Right after we watch this documentary on the New World Order. Ooh. Alright. We're here in the last dreadlock. And I got my bag full of tools here. And it's been a long process, maybe about 8 hours, I think now. 8-9 hours. I'm not sure it's be past 10 hours, but we're gonna see how to do this last one. Any last requests before you become officially a Nazi lock?
A Nazi.
No requests. All right, let's get it in. So you start with the twist here. And by the way, the crochet hook was jamming my finger here. That's why I put some tape on here, just so it stops cutting up my finger. But you start with the twist, and then you crochet hook in and out here. Pull it back a bit. Yeah, right there. Just so you seal the end. You don't want none of this to come out. So this creates a blunt tip when you put it in, up and through like this. Repeat over and over, in and out. Switching to your latch hook. You start at the base, open your latch, and you put it through. Remembering to counteract each position. So if you go one way, always make sure that you go double back on the opposite track or strands, whatever paths. You keep on doing this until you can do it no longer throughout the whole lock. And if you find two strands side by side in the lock, then you just keep going through the opposite direction to kind of tighten that. And then sometimes you gotta just push it down. Always make sure to never go through the same spot twice, because that will lead in loops, and you don't want loops, says the guru sensei. And sometimes you might find it's too hard to pull through, so at that point just leave it and wait till a later date. My hand in the way? Hold on, let me get over here. Oh, much better. What was I doing? Alright, like for instance, you can see how there's a loop in this one, which actually meant I went through it the wrong way twice. So what I would do here is just reverse it and bring it back through the way that I originally messed it up with. Oops, and I did it again, so you'll see that it went even more loopy when I went through the same twice, the same loop 3 times. Alright, so now that it's reversed, I can go back and go the proper way, which will actually lock it. And this camera guy's laughing at me. At least he's not a heavy breather.
I was thinking the same thing.
I'm laughing at the pink bows.
Manly.
It's all Dollarama had for me. And
viola. Voila.
This one's stuck. Actually. Yeah, this one's being stupid. So we'll leave that one. And you just want to seal and make this a blunt tip so that it stays, it seals the deal. And a little bit of crochet hook in and out, makes the tip blunt. And that will call it finished. Because now these should stay in for a while. Let them lock and just mature. Keep on doing the crochet hook method over and over to bring in all these stray hairs. And I'm going to take out all these pretty pink bow ties.
Oh, don't do it.
And then that makes a complete head. Yo, new dread, new knots. This is what we got as an after shot, which they look actually pretty sick. Wait, face this way, 'cause this is how I got the beginning shot, remember? That is the after. They're wild, and they're frizzy, and they're locked.
Locked up.
See, like this part here is this is where the swirl is in his head, where his hair starts to grow, and it's showing now because his hair isn't tamed down. But once it starts to tame down, it'll cover it and it'll go down. But it looks good. Now you gotta give a shout out to the channel.
Subscribe, not locks, sensei, and all that goodness.
Peace. Some beeswax up in this, but this one has petroleum in it, and any beeswax that you have petroleum, is it focus?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any beeswax that has petroleum, you might find that it's too greasy. So you want to get pure beeswax with no additives in it at all. We didn't even use this that much for that fact, but it's okay. You know what to do now. And that's not locked. Hope you guys like this video. Part 3 will be maintenance as he comes back for his first checkup. And you can always remember to share and subscribe. Very important. It helps out a lot. And we'll see you guys soon. Every Sunday, every fun day. Peace!